Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hello.
I don't want to say that we have a duty in kind of talking about this because it's not a duty. Nothing in design should be a duty. But
A
let's touch
moral
this point.
obligation. Do it now. That's not a moral obligation.
Right, moral obligation. Yeah, sounds good. It's like I don't know that in this topic right now, situation is pretty hard. Not hard, hot. Let's say hot. It's definitely trend.
Super trending. And so pretty much there is nothing more trendy right now if you have a television and a cable subscription, whatever you call it, and you have Netflix. The hottest show on Netflix right now is called The Social Dilemma, right? And I
Right,
watch it,
right.
and you watch it, and everybody
Yes, I have.
seems is watching it or will be watching it to some extent.
This episode, I would imagine like a formal conversation between what we have thought about it and what is the takeaway in our opinion compared to what we have seen.
Yes, I mean a very informal chat and
Sure.
fully transparent as we are every time.
Uh-huh.
My
Uh-huh.
personal disclaimer, as you know, I mean, I'm work as a principal experience designer at Facebook, so these are my personal opinion about something that's on TV. I will invite everyone
Right.
that is curious about Facebook official response to go online and check this article that is called
Mhm.
"What the Social Dilemma Gets Wrong." We'll add the link to our episode notes so you guys can find it. But I believe that the reason why I want to talk about that is less about the social dilemma. I think it's more about
Mhm.
the design dilemma and the user dilemma, because how you design for the user in the concept of being sticky or not, or what the main takeaways we have. This is something that we want to mention, and that's why we want to discuss it. Ethical design is another trending topic that now is rising because of the documentary. And look, first of all, I want to make it clear. I enjoyed the show, like I enjoyed every
Mhm.
documentary. But the reason why I enjoy it is that every time I watch any docufilm, any movie, I always have a sort of like critical approach to it in a positive way. So, as an example, have you watched the movie Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yes, yeah, the one from the Queen. Yeah,
Yes, the Queen
it's
Band.
great.
Yes, the
Yeah,
infamous,
yeah,
amazing
yeah.
Queen Band and the history of Freddie Mercury. But if you
Right.
are a fan
Yeah, it's
of Freddie Mercury and the Queen, you'll probably be disappointed by the movie because the
yeah, it's
movie
not the
doesn't tell
full
the real
story.
story, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
some
Get
aspects
get
of
get
that
get your
story
point.
are just tweaked in the
Mm,
storytelling of the movie. Nonetheless,
mm,
the movie is amazing. And I think that this critical aspect should be used for everything that we see on TV or anywhere else, right? What I'm saying
mm.
is you should not rely only on one source, whether you're checking on something online, right, or you're
Every
watching
time.
movies the same. I believe that the social dilemma, to some extent, has aspect that treats really well, talks about some very tricky topics, and I enjoyed the narration of those.
Well, from my perspective, I watched the Social Dilemma when I was in London, and I watched it with two kids from 9 to 12 years old, with their parents too. So there was a specific particular moment when the kids start to feel them like bored, or I don't want to watch this, I feel judged from this, because they of course are, I don't want to say of course, but they're spending a lot of time on their phones, on their social network, right? What I felt in that moment was a little bit of stress and tension on my side as a designer, because I remember that moment when I start to feel a question on my inner sense, like what is the future that I'm shaping when I'm designing for people, and how do I want that people feel, that could be kids or adults, younger men, people with disabilities, no matter, human beings, right? What is the kind of environment and the kind of ethics that I want to foster to that people?
You want to make sure that you're designing again with your heart, and you want to make sure that you probably keep your user in mind before your interest, right?
Mm,
I think that's the point of ethical design in general. Like you want to make sure
mm,
that I would say everyone in every company most likely will be designing for engagement or stickiness, right? Whatever you want to call it. And it's pretty normal. You want user to use your platform. You want user to stay on your platform, right?
I would also mention what's the vision behind what I'm designing, because it's not just about the engaging or the conversion or the metrics business part, that okay, we have reached like top numbers or we've made this kind of stuff. No way. Sorry if I'm just talking a little bit slower than normal, because I honestly feel touched on this point. Then I'm scared of failing after watching this, because I'm scared of don't take this as I should.
Well, that's the point we were making about the moral obligation. You always want to operate with an ethic and a morale, right? It's just this made it probably bubble up a little bit more. And if this documentary brings more attention to the concept of ethical design, I think it's fantastic. I believe we talk a lot. It's actually our most successful episode, the one that we have about design for belonging. So I would say ethical design, design for belonging, when you talk about moral obligation, those are fantastic themes that now are literally in front of everyone. And we're trying to be more inclusive, we're trying to be more honest, we're trying to be more transparent. If that is happening, I'm the happiest person on Earth. And I believe there is a lot of attention now on those topics.
Right. It's communicate with a bigger value, that is not just topics about design itself, but they are actually inside the human inner self-being and well-being. Ultimately, there is more than just design. That probably it's the key of why I'm happy to do this job, if I would call it job, because it is still a job, but the inner force and inner secret that we have to foster and to improve people's life through designing digital experiences, it's impressive.
I'm a positive person, and I will love to always assume positive intent, and always I will start with positive intent in everything that I do. And of course, by thinking of topics like, am I including everyone? Am I making this like a better place? Am I creating a better experience for our people? That's a great place to start. And then, of course, you have to work with the boundaries, the limits, the gray areas, because that will exist no matter what you design.
You touched a great point about self-awareness and intent. Because actually, I remember that was the question that I asked to one of those children I was watching the Social Dilemma with. And I asked to him, listen, don't be scared about how many hours you spend on your phone. Just be sure that you are conscious that you are doing this. Because that is key. That is key, Fede. It's not about, okay, I want to spend more or less time. No, I don't want to say this. You don't have to like be on a digital detox. It's a good practice, but when you have children, it's probably difficult right now to let them be aware of this. So the only thing I said was, do whatever you want, but please be aware. Do you know, are you conscious when you pick up your phone of what you are trying to do with your phone? Do you need to call someone, or are just unlocking for the next notification or something?
Everyone is different, right? Some people are so strong-minded that they can just put the phone down and say, I'm not going to use it for 1 week, and they got it. Some people might need something like my kid does, that is like a reminder whenever he uses his tablet to play with app or watching movies, he has like a time that goes down. And
okay.
Yeah, now he's 4, so he doesn't really realize what the concept of time is, but at least understands that there is a time that is passing, right? And that's something that might be useful for other people. So you will see, hey, you only have like half hour left, and then you have only 5 minutes left, and then okay, now for today is over, and that's it. Some people might use something like that. Everyone needs different kind of help or support from technology in making sure that they are self-aware. I think even designing those sort of like capabilities is really intriguing, because you can help those people have a better relationship with technology in general. I was one probably of the very first user of Moment when it came out. And
wow.
The founder of Moment is one of the guys that were appearing on the Social Dilemma. And I remember at the time, there was no functionality on the iPhone to check how much time you were passing on the phone. So I was intrigued by the topic. And the way it was working, for those people that have never used the app, the Moment tracks the time you're spending across the apps. So it was reverse engineering that time by looking at the usage of your battery across the apps. So you had to take a screenshot every Monday, if I remember, send it to them, and they were reverse engineering the data on the battery to infer the numbers and the time that you were passing on your phone. So it was pretty
Wow.
phenomenal. Yeah, at the time it was. I don't even remember.
At the beginning.
4 or 5 years ago. I might be wrong. No matter what I say, because I really don't remember when it started. And yeah, it was a really intriguing product, and I'm glad that we just have it. I'm glad that we have it on our devices, and I'm glad that probably we'll find even something more clever.
In this specific moment, I think that if there's a way that technology could really help us, if there is some product or some apps that could help us in doing this, look, this can help you, or this is another approach. For example, we could talk about Headspace, that now it's kind of, on a great boom, but it's actually working. I mean, I used to meditate thanks to the app, to Down Dog for the yoga. I don't want to say I'm a guru now, but how technology nowadays, it's changing our life for the better.
There's also Calm. There's a bunch of apps, and I'll be interested in two things for the people that are following us. Like, number one would be if your approach to life or work, if you're a designer, changed based on what you've seen in the movie. That's the first thing. I've heard a lot, and a lot of people have, of course, reaching out. And the second one is if you are doing something, or if you are trying to live a healthier life, or outside of digital, what are you guys using, and is that successful?
To everyone who's listening as a designer, try to foster a deep human connection between your real users, the people behind those screens. Because at the end, you are working with people, and you have to foster this kind of connection in real life before the digital one. That's my tip.
Take a look at the documentary. It's a nice one.
See you in the next dilemma.
Yes, nice. Always ready. Ciao.
There will always be a dilemma in this topic, right? Ciao.